Alright, so this is going to be my second team analysis video. Again, my team is on the top and my opponent team on the bottom. My opponent for the third round was Scott95, and he was running Altaria, Azumarill, Bastiodon, Medicham, Venusaur and Skarmory. So now that I've told you about the sort of rules and how I pick my team, I can just go straight into it. So I asked, can I use Medicham? And the answer is yes this time, because he's only running Azumarill. But because of how well my Melmetal lead worked in the first round, I actually decided to go with Melmetal as the lead instead. Also because he's running two flyers, Altaria and Skarmory, as well as Azumarill. So people often lead with either Azumarill or Skarmory because they think it's a safe option, and actually people tend not to lead with Medicham, even though it is very powerful, just because well, they probably have the same sort of theory as me. If they see that I'm running a Ghost type and Azumarill in my team, then it's probably not a safe lead. So I go with Melmetal. And then I want to have a safe switch. So for me, my safe switch was Azumarill. Azumarill does get countered by Venusaur, but if he's running Vine Whip, which the majority of people were running Vine Whip, then I can spam Ice Beams roughly as quickly as they can spam their Frenzy Plant. So it's not a horrible matchup, and they're not going to completely beat me down like the Razor Leaf Venusaur would. And then for my final pick, I went with Venusaur. I still hadn't really used Medicham at all in this tournament, and I was kind of not afraid to use it, but I'd already used Venusaur and it had worked well in previous matches. One of the things I had to worry about was Bastiodon, but Venusaur does surprise a lot of people against Bastiodon, and they tend not to shield, so I felt Venusaur would be a good switch in if they pull out a Bastiodon. Obviously against Altaria and Skarmory, Venusaur's got no chance, but my Melmetal and Azumarill should be able to hand both of those. So that's going to be the end of this analysis. A bit shorter this time. The actual battles video will be quite a bit longer because we had 3 matches. This is probably my toughest round besides the final, and we're going to go into that now. Alright, so this is match 1 of round 3 against Scott95. I lead with Melmetal, he leads with Azumarill, so this is another favourable matchup for me. I get the switch ready again, and I'm just waiting for him to switch. He gets off a charge attack. I know it's not going to be a Hydro Pump, so I don't have to shield it. And then I decide actually I'll go with Thunderbolt, but he makes a really good switch into Bastiodon. But you'll see it was actually beneficial for me to get that Thunderbolt off, what you see in the next match, because I don't get it off and the outcome of that match is different. So yeah, you see my Razor Leaf is doing quite a lot of damage to his Bastiodon. He's got a Flamethrower and that's going to hurt me quite a bit, so I shield it. And then I get off a Frenzy Plant, I overcharge it a little bit, and he doesn't shield it and it takes him out, so I'm in a good position. He brings in his Medicham, and I know that he hasn't got enough time for an Ice Punch and he's hoping to bait my shield, but it doesn't work, and Power Up Punch is not very effective because I'm part poison. Now I can get off a second Frenzy Plant, so that's going to get another shield. Not another shield, his first shield. I'll switch into Azumarill. whatever he throws at me isn't going to do much damage, but he'll get off quite a lot of power-up punches. He switches into his Azumarill, so I switch into my Melmetal, and this was a mistake. I went for Rock Slide. I don't have to shield this, because again he's not charged enough for a Hydro Pump, and it turns out he doesn't even have Hydro Pump. So I go for Rock Slide, hoping to get the shield, but he doesn't shield it, and then he actually takes me down before I can get to a second Rock Slide, so that was a complete waste. And in the Azumarill matchup, you just want to use Play Rough. I am going to shield his next Play Rough because he's only got Medicham left with not very much health, so the Play Rough is going to do more damage than anything that Medicham can throw at me. So he just about gets off a final charge attack against me, which is quite annoying. But I use the shield, and now I just have to get to an Ice Beam because he's not got that much health. So that's the end of the first match. I decided that my lineup worked really well in the first match, so I keep it the same. And so I lead with Melmetal and he leads with Venusaur this time. This is not as favourable a matchup, but I know that I can still beat Venusaur because I get my charge move off faster than he gets off his charge move. So he doesn't shield the first one, so I don't want to shield his attack either. I will resist Frenzy Plant, but it's such a powerful move that it actually takes me into the yellow as well. No, he shields this second Rock Slide, so Monkey See, Monkey Do. I'm gonna shield his Frenzy Plant because I know that I can beat him to the next charge move, but he switches out. And I decide I'm just going to charge up to Thunderbolt and then switch to Venusaur. But he's learnt his lesson, he knows to shield my Frenzy Plant, and also he's got an energy advantage this time, so I'm not going to get, well, he's going to get to a second Flamethrower before I can take him out. So I'm going to bring Melmetal back in, go straight for a Thunderbolt. And then I can take him out with a couple of fast moves. And hopefully I'm going to get a Rock Slide off on whatever's coming in. It's Venusaur again, so I get off a Rock Slide and I take Venusaur out. I get to see what his last Pokemon is. And it's Azumarill, so I have a problem now in that even though my Azumarill has a health advantage, he's got the energy advantage now, so you see he gets a Play Rough off now and I'm only about halfway to my Play Rough, so he's going to win this second round because he's going to get off his final Play Rough before I can get to mine. I'm not going to speed this up because I can't be bothered, but yeah, I mean it's quite boring just watching the Azumarill match, but yeah. So well played that round, Scott, and on to the third round. This was the only round that went to 3 matches for me other than the final. So we're going to go into that third match now. Right, so for round 3, I decided that Melmetal was a predictable lead. I used it for both previous rounds, and it hard countered his first Pokemon, and even his alternate Pokemon it still beat. So I think he's either going to come in with Medicham and completely hard counter me, or he'll use Bastiodon because he knows that it's been causing me problems. I've not brought anything in that's going to hard counter Bastiodon as of yet, and so I decided to lead with Medicham this time. I know that he's not got a ghost type, so Azumarill is the only thing that I have to worry about, but I'm pretty sure I've scared off any Azumarill lead because of my Melmetal leads. So we'll just go into the battle. So he leads with Medicham as well, and so it's basically just a race to see who gets off Power Up Punch first. Obviously, because it's the same energy for both of us, we're going to tie to reach Power Up Punch, but obviously someone has to get it off first. So you see he's got charge move priority, and every time we tie he's going to get off his charge attack before me. Now there is a way to change charge move priority, but it's only something that's recently come about, and I wasn't aware of this at the time of the Regionals Cup, so I didn't do it, and I'll probably make a video on it because it's something that's quite interesting, but I'll talk about that in that video. And so you see I choose to shield this for the reason that his Medicham is now obviously powered up quite a bit, and I know that he'll probably be able to get off another charge attack on me on my next Pokemon that I bring in. So what I want to do instead is have him waste all of his energy on taking me out, and so I can just come in with one fast attack and take him out. So I go in with Azumarill because it's my safe Pokemon. He also goes in with Azumarill, so we've just had 2 mirror matches in a row. And what I want to do is I want to switch to Venusaur, but I can't let him get off an Ice Beam on my Venusaur because I have a feeling he's got Bastiodon in the back again, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for my Azumarill as I've not got Hydro Pump. So I get off a Play Rough, and I'm hoping that he'd get off his Play Rough straight after me, which he does. So I'm going to switch as soon as he gets off his Play Rough. And so you'll see I take him out easily in time so that he doesn't get off a Ice Beam. And the important thing is that I've now got an energy advantage against Bastiodon. With Razor Leaf, Frenzy Plant charges up slower than Bastiodon's Flamethrower, but because I had about 4 or 5 Razor Leafs before he brought in his Bastiodon, I'm just about going to be able to get to a second Frenzy Plant before he can get off a second Flamethrower. And so that's going to be the end of match 3.